Hello everybody and welcome back to the MoldyWorm gaming channel. My name is MoldyWorm41975 and when we reach 200 and 300 subs on the channel here, I made a video at each of those goals with some YouTube tips for you guys. And one of the softwares that I actually suggested to you guys was Shotcut, and you can see I've got it here on the screen today. Now before we get into the video, I just want to emphasize that I am not in any way sponsored by them. They've not asked me to make this video, anything like that. That it is all purely coming from me. But I have to say it is an incredibly good editing software. I use it myself to edit all of my videos on the channel here. I've used it for quite a few years now. I've used it for about 2 years, and I have to say, for a free editing software, yeah, it is 100% free. It is probably the best editing software you can get. And for those of you who are interested in using this software, today I'm going to be doing a quick tutorial for you guys, just how to do some of the basics on this thing. I myself have not got into half of the things that this software actually has to offer, but I'm just going to show you, as a small YouTuber, some of the features that I use. And if you're interested in downloading it for yourself, then I will leave a link in the description to the download page so you can go and check it out for yourself. But we're here on the PC today. I've loaded Shotcut up. It doesn't take that long to download. And today I want to actually edit some car videos that I took of my classic Mini. So I went out the other day, took a few videos, and I actually wanted to make it into a little cinematic. So I thought, while I'm doing that, I will show you guys some of the features I use. So we're going to go ahead and set up a project name. I'm just going to call this Mini Cinematic, and that is all we really need to do with that. And then I'm going to click start, and then it will load us into this sort of save, basically. Now you've got all these sort of tools up here that you'll need. There's obviously like save and open file, and then you've got a few more tools just down here. And this is your timeline down here, and at the moment there isn't actually a timeline here. So what you got to do is actually add in a timeline. Now there's a bunch of other tools here, but what I like to do straight off the bat is actually go ahead and add in 2 video tracks. Because most of my videos I'll have like a bit of speech on the bottom, and then I might have like an overlaying little bit of video. You can also add an audio track, so we'll go ahead and add in an audio track as well. And if you scroll down, you can see the audio track is there. Now you can actually put video files in the audio track, and it will just keep the audio and get rid of the video, so that's actually really useful. But today we are actually only going to be using 1 video track. There's not really any point in using 2. So the first thing that you need to go and do, obviously add in your track, then go to open file and find the videos that you want to edit. So if you brought it over from a pen drive, go and copy it off your pen drive to your PC and then find wherever it is. I've made a folder here with all the unedited video clips that I want to use today. And you just want to select whichever one you want first. You can also drop in your intro here, so most of you guys will have an intro that you want to put at the start of your videos. I'm not going to put it at the start of this one, but you want to put that in first. So I'm just going to go ahead and select this one, and you can see the video will play there, and all you got to do to get it to your timeline is actually just drag and drop it onto your timeline, and you'll see it appears right there. Now this video, it does have a little bit of audio. You can see just here at the bottom, that is your audio like peak meter down there. And because this is a cinematic, I don't really want the sort of wind in the background. So what I'm actually going to go and do is, if you click on filters here, and I've just clicked on favorite because I favorited the ones that I use most. You can actually go here to mute, and you can see that that will actually mute the audio. It will still appear down here, but there will actually be no audio. And then you can see I've selected this clip here, and you can see that it will split up the different filters for you, and here I've got the mute, and you can actually untick that. So if you decide you want the audio back, if you add in a filter by accident, you can actually untick it, but we'll leave that one ticked. Another thing you can do, if you just want a separate clip, so I just want this clip muted and the next clip I might not want muted, so then that's when you would use a filter like I've just done. But if you want this whole timeline to be muted, you can actually just click there, and you'll see it sort of fades that out a little bit, and when you export this as a file, it will actually mute that whole track. So we've got the clip in here, and basically what I want to go and do today is kind of make a little cinematic here. So I'm not going to do the whole cinematic, I'll just show you a few things, and then I'll show you what the finished result looks like. So to start off with, if we go back to the very start, you can see that this video is basically just me walking up to the car, and then at the end the camera dips there, and we don't really want that. So what you can go and do is, if you just drag this little slider around and you hit spacebar, it will play, and then you can see at that point it starts to drop. So what you can do then is you can actually just click back a little bit, or you can fine trim it with the arrow keys. So you can see sort of when it starts to drop, so I think about there. And then you can either use the trim tool here, that will cut it, or you can actually just use S on the keyboard, and that will split that one as well. And then you can just press delete and it will remove that part for you. And now you can see that the clip ends and it doesn't drop down, which is lovely. That's what we want. Now if we go back to the start of the clip, so this will be the very start of your video. It's very quick, you're straight into the video, there's no sort of intro or anything like that. So I want to put a little bit of text just to explain what this video is going to be about. Now if you don't have any video here, so if you leave this bit blank, it will just be black. And so if you want a little bit of like a black fade through, which I'll show you in a minute, then you can actually just leave it blank like this, but you can't put text on this. So what you need to do is, I have got somewhere, let me just find it. This is all of the sort of things I need to make my videos, and I've got here fade out, and this is just literally black. So if we drag and drop this, I'm just going to put it there for now because it's a little bit big, and we're just going to split it. You can actually make these exactly the length you want. So if you click on the different things, you'll see there you can highlight the different things, and you go to properties, you can actually set the time that you want it to be, but there's no real point. I'm just doing that as a very quick thing there. So then we want to add some text. So if you click on the thing, you want to drag the marker somewhere over the clip so you can sort of see it. So we've got this clip selected, but you can actually look at this clip whilst having this one selected. So you want the cursor somewhere over the over this like video file here, because otherwise you won't be able to see what you're doing. You want to click on filters down here at the bottom, click in add, and I've got here simple text. You can also go on video and this will bring up all of the different video things. There are also a bunch of audio things. I don't even know what half of these are for. As I mentioned, I've not even got into the majority of what this software can do, but in favorites here I've got text. You can also just search for it up there and you'll see it adds it in there. Now default it comes with this like time code, and that will just count down, but in this text box here you can just go ahead and delete that, and I'm just going to put a little bit of text in there. So I wanted to make, and then you want to go to the next line, this short cinematic for you guys, and that's all we want. That's all I'm going to put in there. And then you can actually go ahead and you can center these like in the middle if you want it there, or you can have it in the bottom right, or whatever you want. The text, you can also change the font. So if you want to change the font, you can go ahead and do that. I just like the font that we have already. You can also pick the font color. So we could go for something like that, MoldyWorm green kind of. And then you can actually pick an outline. So if we just go for something crazy so we can actually see it. And the outline's really small. So if we change this to something like 20, and there you go, you can see that's a little bit crazy. It's not really what I'd go for, but just to outline the point there for you guys, you can see. But you can also see here, it's kind of like a picture. It's a bit of a layer here, and you can actually make this smaller, and that will make the text smaller. And then if you go here, you can actually just center this where you want it, and then if you just select the next clip, you can see what it will look like, and that looks really nice. I'm quite happy with that. Not the colors I'd go for, but yeah. But if we go back to the start, it's still very quick. You're straight into the video. There's no sort of fading or anything like that. So if we select this clip again, and we go to filters, we go to add, and we go in fade in video. Now if we go back to the start, you can see the text disappears and it fades in quite nicely, just like that, and it gives time for the people to read it. Then it disappears very quickly. So then we can go and do the same, and we can have fade out video. And now we go back to the start, you can see it fades in lovely, it gives people time to read it, and then it fades out into black. And then from that point, we're into the video there, but it does come in a little bit quick. So I'm just going to bring this a little bit closer to the clip. You can butt it right up to there. This little magnet tool here will allow you to like snap them together. You can overlap them, which I'm going to show you in a second, but they will snap together. But if you don't want that on, you can actually just turn off that magnet, and it will allow it to, well, it'll allow you to position it to wherever you want. But I want them quite close together, and then just separate them out a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and fade in the video there. And now if we go to this, you'll see that fades out lovely through black and fades into the video, and that was absolutely lovely. That's a nice little transition. I use that in the majority of my videos. You don't need to put anything here. Obviously, if you have another video under there, so I'll just show you what that is like. So if we just pause that and we go ahead and have, so if you've got another track of video under here, this gap where it was black before, it will fade into that, and then it will fade into that. So if you wanted to do that, what you need to do is cut the video there on the second track and have the same size gap here, so then it will fade through black again, and that looks lovely. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that because we don't need that. Now the next thing that I want to have a look at is a transition. So we've got one video there, and I'm going to go for this bit of video here. It's just a nice slide across the badge. It looks really nice there. I'm going to add that in right next to the other one, and then we need to just sort of trim this clip a little bit. So I like the start, but then at the end it kind of tails off again. So I'm just going to go to about there, press S to split it and delete the second part of it there, And now what I'm going to do is actually just overlap these clips very slightly. And you'll see it creates this little blue and purple box. And that is actually a transition. So if you go ahead and click on the transition, and this time you want to go to Properties, and you get this little drop down box here, and it gives you a bunch of different transitions that you can choose from. So the one that I tend to use is actually just the bar horizontal. I think that one's quite nice. And if we just go back to here, we can have a look what that looks like. And it basically just wipes across the screen. But you can see it's kind of a little bit fuzzy. It kind of has this like weird like fade, and I don't really like that. So you can make this more or less with this slider here. You can see on the right hand side there, it makes it more or less. But if you actually set it to 0, it will be like a bar like this, and that's what I like. It looks a lot nicer. And if we have a look what that looks like, it's just a nice clean wipe across the screen, and then we have the mini badge right there. Looks absolutely lovely. So then what we're going to go do is if you want to put a little bit of if you want to put a picture over a video. So often in my gaming videos I'll have some video up on screen, and I'll be talking about a vehicle or something like that, and I want to show the viewers what I'm talking about, so I'll put a picture of it on screen. And to do that, we're going to open up another video here. This is just another video clip. I'm going to put this on the second video track, because you can have as many video tracks as you want. So we've just got 2 here. But whichever one is on the top is the one you will see. So if I put this one under this clip and I click play, you can see you don't see this clip at all. It's the clip that's on top. But then when there's nothing here, you can then see that clip. If we go and put that back to there, now this is just a nice little spin around of the camera. And if I wanted to put a picture over the top of that, I'm just going to find a picture. I'll just use one of my thumbnails. We'll just go with something like this. And you can see if I put this over the top of the mini photo there, the mini video, you can see the mini video disappears then. And I just want this as a picture with the mini video still playing in the background. So if we go to filters and we click the plus button, you can see there's one here that's called size and position. And if you click that, it will give you this sort of like surround like with the text. Now, if you knew the exact size you want, you can type that in here. If you knew the exact positioning you want, you could type that in. But I usually just drag this down like this, just to the size you want. And I just want that to be right in the middle there. I don't know why, but I do. And you can see now the video will play, and then that will pop up in the middle, sorry, with the video still playing in the background. And then if we want to have that disappear, then it will pop up, it will play for a minute, I'll be talking about it, and then it will disappear. And that's an absolutely awesome little feature that you can use. I use that in nearly all of my videos. I'll be talking about something, and just to give your viewers a bit more description, you can put a picture in there, and then when you're finished talking about it, it will disappear. And that's absolutely super. So I'm just going to delete that because it's not part of the sort of thing that we're doing. So there isn't a whole lot more that I want to go and show you. There is obviously loads of different things that I could show you. These are just a few of the things that I use in the videos. Obviously you've got like gain and volume, so you can turn the volume up. If you've got a bit of quiet audio, you can go and turn that up. The hue, saturation and brightness, if you wanted some like old footage, you could turn this to about 25. Oh, sorry. If we go to like this one, hue, saturation and brightness, and we went to 25, we can make this like a black and white film. You could actually set this to 0 if you wanted, and it will be fully black and white. There is actually some really cool like little things that you can see. There's a glitch, there's like flip, there's loads of really cool things you can do. If you go down here, there's like old film projector, so that will make it like an old projector type style. It looks really cool. There's loads of different filters and stuff that you can try, but these are just sort of the ones that I mainly use. Obviously text, the size and position, a bit of saturation, so if your footage is really dark, you can turn the saturation up a little bit. Mute is really handy, although you can use the mute down here, and obviously the fade in, fade out thing. And then the transitions, you just overlap those and it will create the transition for you like that, and then all you've got to do is properties and it will do that. But then once you are happy with your video file, you need to obviously render it, and you don't have to manually render it, so don't worry about that. But all you want to do is click on the export tab up here, and you'll see it gives us a bunch of different options to export this as. So if you wanted it just as an audio file, you can export it as an MP3. You can see it on this drop down menu. It gives you all the audio sort of files. We have camcorder files, we have devices, there's loads of different ones you can do. If it's just a still image, you can actually go ahead and do like a JPEG. But the one that I use, just because it's really simple, is actually YouTube. It's right there, and that will make sure that it is a perfect file type to upload on YouTube. It makes sure it's good enough quality for YouTube, and yeah, it'll basically set everything perfectly for you. If you're uploading on YouTube, I'd suggest just use that one. That's why it's there. It's called YouTube, and then all you've got to do from there is hit export, save it to wherever you want. So I'm just going to save it in that folder, and then you can see over here on the right hand side, it's going to go ahead and render the video. So in a minute, you can see there it's gone to 1% rendered, and it will give you an estimated render time. So this says it's going to be about 3.5 minutes to render. And then once it has done, you'll see here there is a little tick to say that it has been done, and it will tell you actually how long it took, just in case you're sort of interested. And then we can go ahead and open up the video. So if we go to the folder that I saved it in, and we go to mini cinematic, it's right there. You can go ahead and open it up. It'll be nice and smooth, and you can tell the music's in the background. We got a nice video. Now this is going to look a little funky because of all the different sort of things that I've been showing you, but you can see it's nice and smooth. It looks lovely. It's rendered beautifully. We got a nice little transition there, and it should look all really good. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is actually go ahead and edit this video properly, how I would do it, make it look really nice, and I will show you guys the finished clip now. And there you have it, guys. That is the final finished clip for you right there. I hope you did enjoy this video. It was just a brief look at Shotcut. For those of you who are interested, there is a link in the description below. Definitely go and get Shotcut. It's completely free, as I mentioned. It's one of the best editing softwares I've used. I have used quite a few in the few years that I have been doing YouTube, and honestly it is the best software I have used. There are a lot better softwares out there that you can pay a lot of money for, but if you're a small YouTuber, you're looking for a decent editing software that's completely free, then Shotcut is the one that you have to use. But that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope it has been useful to some of you. Leave a comment down below if you did find it useful, and also leave a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, then don't forget to subscribe. I am doing 2 videos a week at the moment. So if you guys want to stick around, then that would be greatly appreciated. But that is going to do it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.